Welcome to Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm Lisa Workman with the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce. Well, we have got a great show lined up for you today. We have guests that are coming on from Visit Fergus Falls as well as the Humane Society of Otter County. But before we meet our guests, I encourage you to check out the Chamber's website at fergusfalls.com where you can learn all about our more than 300 Chamber member businesses. Plus, you can also find out information about upcoming events in the community, including the Battle of the Businesses Bowling Tournament, which will be on Saturday, February 11th. There's only a few spots available for your team of 4 bowlers, so get signed up right away. And of course, if your business has a prize that you'd like to contribute, we give away a ton of door prizes at the event, so you can get in touch with us for that too. Well, on our show, we've got Rolando with Visit Fergus Falls coming up next.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. I have a special guest with us today. Rolando Felizola
There you go.
is here. Rolando is the new executive director of Visit Fergus Falls, which is the organization in our community that invites people to visit Fergus Falls. So
That's right.
welcome to
Thank
Fergus
you.
Falls, and welcome to your new role with the organization. We've worked with Visit Fergus Falls as the chamber for many, many years, and excited to welcome you as the new leader of the organization. So, Rolando, we're going to know a little bit about you, because I detect a bit of an accent.
Uh-huh.
And it's not Norwegian, so...
No, it's not Norwegian.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I mean, I come from an Italian family that migrated to Venezuela
Okay.
during the Second World War. And I grew up in Venezuela till I was like 29.
Okay. So Italian family, but born and raised in Venezuela.
Born and raised in Venezuela.
A little
And
bit different
then,
weather than here.
A little bit. I mean, we don't have winters at all. So that's been a shock, a cultural shock.
Definitely, definitely.
And then I moved to Miami when I was 29. And I lived there till last year. So, again, no winters whatsoever.
Yeah, no winters in Miami either.
So, yeah, and in Miami, I used to work for Univision Communications. That is the biggest national Hispanic network.
Yeah.
It's huge. And I worked there for 18 years.
Okay. And what type of work did you do with Univision then?
Well, I mean, I started
Probably over 18 years, a lot.
I started as a producer in the morning block, I remember. I used to do promotions for soap operas in the morning.
Okay.
And that's how I started. And then I went to the afternoon block, and then I went to prime time, and then I went to senior producer, and then I went to manager of the department, and then I went to brand manager of the department, and then I became creative director of the network.
Fantastic. What a great career and so much experience that you bring. And this is probably a little unique for you to be on this side of the camera then.
Well, yeah, on this side of the camera, yeah. haven't been that much.
So you bring a wealth of experience in videography, photography, design, branding, that you're bringing right here to Fergus Falls.
Yeah.
So how did you land in Fergus Falls?
Well, I visited like 2 years ago, and I was looking for that. Imagine, my original plan was to move to Uruguay.
Okay. You got lost on the way, I think.
Yeah, the extreme south.
Yes.
So, because I was looking for like just a quieter life,
Yeah,
Miami is a great city. I lived there for a long time. I'm super grateful, and I will always love Miami. but
It's a big city.
it's a big city. I mean, the traffic is unbearable. I used to spend an hour and a half every day to get to my house after work, and an hour to get to work. So it was 2 hours and a half in traffic every day.
Ish.
And I was really, I was really fed up
Yeah.
of that.
Ready
So,
for a change of pace.
yeah. And I was looking, if you get a little bit older, you want, a quieter life, And in my job, usually I have to be on call for 24 hours.
Sure.
Whatever happens, if an artist dies or there's a breaking news going on, you have to run.
Sure.
And it's like, I did it for 18 years, and I think that it was enough.
Yep.
So here I am in Fergus Falls. I visited. I fell in love with town. I bought a little house here, and here I am.
Well, welcome. We're so happy and so fortunate that you landed here in Fergus Falls. So you said you love the community, and that's really going to play into how you'll promote the community. Tell us about some of the things that you love about Fergus Falls.
But you know that every community is made by their people. The people here is very welcoming. It's this is a very charming town. That was my first impression. Very charming. The people is very welcoming. Is a community. I don't know. At least till now, drama free.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it, and I say, okay, I'm gonna try here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the winters, remember? And I was like, okay, I'll deal with that.
Yeah.
Well, the first year was pretty difficult, the winter, to me. I even got a heart attack
Oh, no.
in the winter, and I got an open heart surgery
Oh, my.
after shoveling. So,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. That and
But imagine.
that didn't really change your perspective.
At all.
No.
At all. And I can tell you that I was treated in Fargo, in Sanford, and it was just fantastic. That people, was fantastic, and I recovered pretty fast. So I say, okay, well, let's keep going.
Yeah. And so
So-
now you've been hired as the new executive director of Visit Fergus Falls. So
Right.
now you can share what you love about our community with others. And
Exactly, and and I am the example of what we are looking for.
Right.
People that wants to come here, that are looking for a nice lifestyle, and can come here and live here and work here and in this community. This community is very welcoming, and and I'm super happy to have the opportunity to have that job, and put out the information of, because I never knew that Fergus Falls even existed.
right, well, we are a small town, especially
So
especially compared to some place the size of Miami.
Exactly. So the thing is to start putting it in a map a little bit
Right.
here and there. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of work,
Right.
but I think it's totally feasible. I think it's, once people get to know it, if we can get people curious about it and come to visit, they're gonna love it.
Absolutely. Well, both you and I started as vacationers here.
That's
When
right.
I came to Fergus Falls more than 25 years ago, we came to visit family, and we came to go snowmobiling, and, had a career opportunity that we moved for, and thought, as you did, it's a fantastic small town, but with a lot of the conveniences and assets and interests of a big city.
Yeah, when I moved here, one of the things that was like a real factor for me to say, okay, I'm gonna do that, was, believe it or not, was Maplewood State Park.
I believe it.
I'm
Yeah.
a nature photographer, so to me, Maplewood was like, I just fell in love with that park.
You could probably live there.
I just fell in love with it, and then I fell in love with Glendalough, and I say, okay, how convenient that I live in a town where I drive 20 minutes and I can be in those majestic
Yes.
state parks. And to me, that was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it because it's super convenient. You know, I can drive 20 minutes, I'm there. I can drive 20 minutes, I'm in Glendale. I'm 20 minutes, I'm in Maplewood. In 20 minutes, I'm in North Dakota, Wahpeton. You
Right.
know, you can explore around like a lot of places, a lot of beautiful places, and you know, and this is a great base to do that.
Absolutely, and I think that's what's, you know, what we've talked about in some of the Visit Fergus Falls meetings is that so much that there are so many places that are such a short distance from Fergus Falls that we're kind of that hub and spoke where you could stay in a nice comfy hotel right here in Fergus Falls, invite your
Exactly.
friends and family to come visit, but you know, friends and family, what is it, something about fish and things getting smelly or wear out their welcome after a couple days, you know, put them up in have them stay in a hotel and,
Yeah.
you know, branch out
In a
and
hotel,
explore.
and then you can come back here and you know, and go to a nice show in our
Right.
theater. They're having more and more great shows. at the
Absolutely.
theater. And you know, and I think that is something. We have an amazing museum. I mean, I never went to that museum till like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And from outside, you can never imagine what is inside of that museum. I was like, what? This is super impressive.
it is.
So, so yeah, we have. I mean, to me, this is a little jewel in the mid in central Minnesota.
Sure.
And if you want to explore all around, it's super easy. It's just 20 minutes drive, almost to everywhere. And if you feel that you want a city vibe, you can drive 50 minutes to Fargo
Right.
and then come back and, you know,
Chill.
to your peaceful place.
Yep. Relax in our great community here, but
Yeah.
again, there's still many activities, and you know, I think sometimes as residents, you know, you've been here a couple years, I've been here a couple more, but you forget maybe easily if you're not new all of the great things that are going on in our community, and you know, especially during these winter months, now is such a great time to get out and explore
Oh, yeah.
our museum. You know, go to the bowling alley, go to the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center, take in a show at a Center for the Arts, explore the great restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
You know, go to a basketball game at M State, or you know, just so many different things that are already going on
Yeah.
that, you know, be a tourist in your own town.
This is a vibrant community, and you would never imagine. I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff to do here, and I will encourage everyone looking at this that, you know, to come here and give it a try, because
Yeah.
you're gonna love it.
Yeah, there's
I love
absolutely
it.
so many things going on. So what's in store? What is your, you know, you've been on the job now for
I've been on
what,
the
maybe a
job for
month or
like,
two, 6 weeks?
Let's say that 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
These 6 weeks have been just catching up. Remember that job was held for just one person for 19 years.
Right,
So everything was done in a certain way,
right.
and that's what I have been trying to understand.
Sure.
You know, how things are done, because it's not only, you know, promote the time. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff that you
A
have
lot to learn.
a lot to learn, and you know, I've been trying to catch up with that, but in the never losing your north. That is,
Right.
you know, when you're gonna sell something, you have to create, I mean, a personality. You have to create a brand,
Sure.
and
So is that what's in store?
that's what's in store.
Okay.
You have to create a brand, a personality, you know, a look, where people see that look and say, okay, that's Fergus Falls, you know.
Sure.
That's going to take time, but that's what you have to aim
Right.
for. And, you know, and that's where we're going.
It's exciting.
It's super exciting. I'm super excited with that.
So if folks want to learn more about Visit Fergus Falls and Rolando, what's a good way to connect and to maybe, you know, are you sharing some of your fantastic photography with the world?
I've been sharing my photography in our social media pages, and visit Fergus Falls. I mean, follow us, guys. Visit Fergus Falls in Facebook, in Twitter. I've been sharing my photography there, and people, I mean, has been pretty responsive
Yeah.
to that.
It's fantastic.
Because photography, photography to me is just magic.
Yeah.
It's just capture the moment, a moment that is not gonna repeat never again. And you just capture it there, and you have it there in an image, and it tells a story, and it tells, and it just triggers feelings in you. I mean, that's what I love about photography. Because
Right.
usually people tells me, wow, I see your page and I feel like a little bit of peace on that. And I say, well, that's great, because that's the goal, that you feel whatever you feel, but you feel something.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Well, you're helping to share that story and those emotions about our fantastic community here too. So
And you can go to our webpage, you can write us in info at visitfergusfalls.com. Any questions, I'm open door all day, so you can pass by and ask whatever you want. So here we are.
yeah,
Just-
well, welcome to Fergus Falls, and you've got a lot of plans. Everything from some branding that's being worked on to
Oh, yeah.
a new location, a new office.
Gonna go to a
Lots
new
to share.
office.
So I hope that you will come back on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, again,
I hope that when we have all the brand ready, we can share it here to
absolutely.
everybody, and yeah, I mean, there's so many good stuff coming, and I'm super excited about it.
And we have so many of our community members and their brand ambassadors, really, for our fantastic city and for this great destination that
Yeah.
we hope that once the branding is launched that everyone will share it. So we'll invite you back. Hopefully, we can give folks a sneak peek at some point, or that, give our residents the first look at it all so that they can share their excitement with folks.
They can share, yeah, because this is a work. This is not only my job; it's a job of everybody.
Right.
As soon as we share and we spread the message, we are sure that we're going to be fine.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, again, welcome to Fergus Falls here. Thank you again for making it your home, and we hope that you will. We hope that this winter is even better than the past.
It has been a little bit better than the last one, though. I mean,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And take it easy shoveling too.
Yeah.
Fair warning for everybody, right? Well, Rolando, once again, thanks for joining us on our show today.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You bet. We'll be back after a little break.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is here with the Park Region My Safety Net app. Welcome home to My Safety Net. The My Safety Net app is designed to easily tailor a custom Wi-Fi experience. The My Safety Net app is simple and intuitive. All features are accessible from the home dashboard. Easily create profiles for people, places, and things. Pause the internet. Set schedules. Run bandwidth tests. Get performance alerts and device statistics. Enhanced features allow you to filter content, prioritize devices and activities, get notified and keep track of web threats, intrusions, and blocked viruses. My Safety Net app. Connect, control, and tailor the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. My Safety Net by Park Region. Call today.
Welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. We have more special guests on our show today. We've got the crew from the Humane Society of Ottertail County here today, or at least different members of part of the organization. So let's start, you guys. We'll let you guys each introduce yourselves and what your role is. So we'll start with you, Jacqueline.
My name is Jacqueline Keenan, and I'm the shelter manager out at the shelter.
Alrighty, and
I'm Samantha Batzloff, and I recently took on the role of an executive director out of the shelter.
so another new executive director. We got a theme going for our show today. And Lori?
I'm Lori Kettner, and I'm a board member, and I'm also a foster provider for the shelter.
Well, thank you all for joining us on the show today. It takes a lot of different people in a variety of different roles to keep the Humane Society going. And when we talk about Humane Society going, there are some big changes that are planned, an expansion. And maybe Jacqueline, as the shelter manager, just tell us a little bit about the day-to-day, maybe some of the day-to-day challenges that the shelter goes through when it comes to space and the need for space. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our building's been there since the early 90s, what it is right now, and it was built years ago to house animals kind of temporarily. Animal rescue has changed so much, throughout the last several decades, and pets are so much more a part of our family. We, look at them a lot differently and treat them a lot differently. And our shelter is there to care, for around 900 animals every year. And
Wait, what?
Yeah,
900 animals come through the doors every year. Wow.
And, many of them return back to their owners after a very brief stay, because they've got an adventure or something like that. But, they're there, and when they have their length of stay, we care for them until they either get adopted.
Sure.
We are able to work with other rescues to maybe transfer them out for, a more appropriate, home. But they stay with us. They stay with us until, they find their route of, where they're going to go. And so challenges, we're caring for more and more and more animals every single day, and they stay with us until they find homes, which is different than it used to be, decades ago. And so,
and I would think decades ago it was more of a, like you said, a pet went on an adventure.
Yeah.
They get brought to the Humane Society for that short hour, maybe a couple days stay, and now they're staying quite a bit longer.
Yeah, so they're, either returning back to their owner because the owner is reclaiming them, but, our services are, also for surrenders. We're helping with animal neglect cases, we're experiencing seizures because of, inappropriate care for them. And, we have a lot of still unwanted litters, especially cats, that people, are wanting to find placement for. And so, they're calling upon us to help. And so we need to have a facility that can, maintain standards of care that, that we want. We want them to have, quiet spaces. We want them to have areas that we can keep, properly disinfectant to help with disease control. We want them to be comfortable and as stress-free as we can do, for, considering it's not a home. So yeah, we really are, we're excited about this expansion because we have a lot of visitors too. We have a lot of volunteers, and my office is / the, break room / the meeting room / all kinds of stuff. So it, the space is needed.
Absolutely. And Lori, let's talk to you as a volunteer and a board member. Let's talk a little bit about, I think like if you're fostering pets and so you're involved in the comings and the goings of the critters on a regular basis then.
All year round, yep. My job is actually really exciting. I get to snuggle kittens. Darn.
As a foster pet parent.
Right, and I have my own pets too. My role as a foster is critical in helping a couple of different things. The kittens get to go to a quiet space. There's a lot of activity happening at the shelter, like Jacqueline mentioned.
Yeah.
And so in my home, it's quiet. They get, in their time, as they are ready, they get interaction with my pets and my family. Our job is to make them as socialized as we possibly can. It just makes them more adoptable because
Sure.
they're confident and they're calm and, you know.
And they're used to being around other animals?
Yes, we have a
And
dog
people?
and we have cats, and so they get used to, you know, whether our pets want interaction with them or not. They kind of learn their manners that way.
Sure.
And their boundaries and stuff. And then my children and stuff too, their friends that come over. And so we just try to give our kittens as much exposure to the world that they're going to be in a household as we can. And then also give them the quiet that they need to just grow. Sometimes they have a mom that comes with them who can nurse them, and often, I would say, more often than not, they don't. And so then it's bottle feeding and monitoring their eating progression as they grow and keeping them healthy and keeping them, just staying in constant contact, especially with Jacqueline, to let them, you know, let her know if they're healthy or not.
Sure.
And then they can, you know, take care of the medical end and stuff, and we work together on that.
Well, and I think that's something too that I don't think everyone realizes is that you're not just housing pets at the Humane Society, you're keeping them healthy.
Yeah.
Round the
Yeah.
clock care, really.
Yeah, we do, you know, there's a lot of medical care that happens every single day. I mean, when we're getting them ready for adoption, they're getting, you know, their core vaccines that are needed, they're getting their parasite prevention. You know, many pets come in with illnesses that, you know, the goopy eyes and stuff for the kittens and cats. You know, the diarrhea, which is like the least impressive part of the job. But, you know, I mean, it's all stuff that if they had an owner, these owners would be the ones responsible for taking them in.
Right.
Well, that's our responsibility, and that's what we do to care for them, you know, so we're, you know, and there's been some, you know, harder things than just the general stuff, you know, there's
Right.
been, you know, serious medical issues that we've had to undertake and care for and
Right,
things. So.
right. And all of that takes experience, it takes time, it takes people, it takes money, and it takes space to
Yeah.
do that. And that's one of the things that we wanted to invite you on the show to talk about is an expansion. And Samantha, this has been an ongoing discussion even before you were the executive director. Of
Right.
course, as a board member, you've been involved in those discussions. Let's talk about how kind of where the planning process is and where you guys are at on it now.
Yeah, we actually have a floor plan now, and we've been we worked with both the architecture firm out of Colorado, Animal Arts, that specializes in shelters and veterinary clinics. And now we've turned it over to a local architect in town here. So we have some beautiful drawings, we have a beautiful floor plan. We're looking to add about 3,800 square feet onto our existing building. So that doubles the amount of space that we have
Wow.
currently. And we're getting really close to the halfway mark. So we're looking to raise about $2 million
Okay.
for this expansion. And we're getting close. So
That's an opportunity for folks to donate, to contribute,
yep,
to make
absolutely.
this a reality.
Yep, yep. And with that, you know, one of the big parts for me is our added community space that we'll add on out there. So it'll double as kind of an indoor play yard for our cold winter months when
Sure.
we can't get pets outside. And we have those volunteers that are coming out to the shelter, and there's currently no space for them
Sure.
to do stuff inside with the pets. So we'll kind of have a dual purpose room that they can use for some of those indoor play times, that we can have more groups and community centered things out at the shelter as well.
Yeah, so that's one of the areas of expansion.
Yeah.
But there's other areas too. Love to have one of you guys talk about some of the different other things that will be added.
There's a couple meet and greet rooms that we'll have.
Okay, so talk about a meet and greet room. This isn't
So-
like, you know, I think the chamber, like we do meet and
Right.
greets, like we network with business people, but
Yeah.
that's not quite it.
Right. So if you came out to the shelter right now and you wanted to meet a dog that you were interested in adopting, currently you would do that in our front lobby area with people going in and out. 'Cause
Sure.
we don't have a separate area where people can sit down and get acquainted with that dog or that cat. So those meet and greet rooms will be a little bit more home friendly and
Sure.
give people a little bit of privacy when they're meeting a prospective
A little
family
better
member.
sense, because I think, I mean, if I can imagine, you know, you've got volunteers coming, staff coming, you've got pets coming in, pets going out. You know, I just think of like when you go to, you take your pet to the vet, if
Yep.
back when Companion was that small space, you get excited
It's-
dogs
yeah.
and the cats are like, ah, you know, and
Yep.
that would be happening all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how would you get a good feel for the pet and how you interact with them?
Yeah, and sometimes in our lobby, we do have small critters because we don't have a small critter room.
Small
So,
critters like,
like
hamsters
rabbits
and rabbit. Okay.
Yep, and guinea pigs and
Oh,
stuff.
oh, yeah.
So you can imagine if we're bringing out, you know, one of the most excitable huskies to come out and meet a family, and they're like, rabbit? And so they're not really getting a chance to, you know, be with the people. They're,
Right.
you know, kind of following their natural instincts.
Literally like squirrel.
Yeah. So one of the other exciting rooms would be an actual dedicated small critter room, so we can, you know, safely house guinea pigs and rabbits and hamsters and
Sure.
things, and because we really are not set up to do that. We have temporary shelving units where they kind of sit, and it's not good for them either.
No.
I mean, it's scary for them. You know, if a big
Yeah.
dog comes running up at them and stuff. So that's
Stressful.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, like you're cramped for space where you're at. They're literally stacked. You know, the kennels are, you know, even for the kitties, like you say, you take in a litter and all of a sudden, okay, now that's 6 more.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
it's not just necessarily a single surrender, it's here's 7 cats.
And as they grow, they need more kennel space. They
Yes.
start out obviously in a very containable space, but they grow and they stretch like everything else, and they
Yeah.
just need more room. When I adopted my dog, Sydney, 10 years ago, almost, I remember sitting in the laundry room. That was my meet and greet, was in the laundry room with her. I was leaning up against their built-in bathtub where they bathe incoming animals, and she was luckily very interested in me, but there's a constant distraction.
Right.
And so we're eager for it to feel like a very inviting community space. Like my first thought is the library. It's going to be a place where the community wants to be and wants to engage. And I'm so excited about that prospect happening, and then
Absolutely.
that place to really, really get to know an animal's personality and decide if the fit is what it should be.
Right, and I think that's one of the things that's the ultimate goal, is that you have a space where potential new owners and potential new pets can to meet and greet each other in a setting that is hopefully a better success rate, or improves that bonding between them right away, so that it's not a resurrender, you know, 30 days down the road because it wasn't a fit. Or
Yeah, and one thing to note is that with this expansion, we are not necessarily looking to expand the amount of animals we are holding on a daily
Sure.
basis, because we hold a lot compared to a lot of area shelters. But our main goal with this expansion is to have the animals have as stress-free of a stay as possible, have
Right.
our staff, our visitors, everyone have a comfortable space to maneuver in the building. And with that comes then hopefully very quick turnovers of adoptions and proper meet and greets, and then, you know, stress-free surrenders by having a dual entry. That's
Sure.
kind of one of the things that I'm probably most excited about, is our the way that we're going to have our entry set up is one side will be for people that are coming in donations and drop-offs for, you know, money or items, and then coming to adopt or visit, and then another section for new intake animals. So those that
Right.
are, you know, bringing in strays will have a different entrance, or, you know, more serious, you know, events like surrendering. I mean, no one really wants to be with the same, you know, people that are
Right.
dropping off and getting questioned and stuff. So I think that will bring a lot more peace and stuff to our
Sure.
park area.
Well, and that happens. Those surrenders they're not easy for sure. You know, you have you think maybe aging parents that they're going to assisted living and they've had, you know, their schnauzer for, you know,
Yeah.
15 years. That's not an easy thing for them to.
So it's not just for the animals, but
Right.
it's for the
The
people
people
coming.
too.
Mhm.
Yep. So speaking of the people, how can the people get involved? Because most dogs and cats don't have bank accounts. They might, but you know, they'd be the first to donate. I'm sure about that. So do better than those dogs and cats. And so how can the people get involved?
There's lots of ways to get involved. We're always looking for volunteers. If somebody wants to volunteer, of course you can donate. It doesn't always have to be money. We take lots of donations, food, litter, laundry detergent,
Sure.
anything like that the shelter can use. We have spots on our board of directors if anybody is ever looking to serve on the board in that capacity. And foster homes, will hopefully spring is around the corner here, and we will get lots of especially cats and kittens. So if anybody's ever interested in fostering, that'll be a big thing on the horizon as well.
Absolutely. And then of course with the expansion, like you said, we're almost at that halfway mark. Let's get everyone involved.
Yeah.
And folks can contribute. What are ways that they can make a cash donation or cash-like donation?
Cash donations can always be made out at the shelter. The girls are always really good out there. If they want to direct it towards the capital campaign, they can just let them know. Our website has a great spot on it for more information on the capital campaign. There's a video on there. There's pictures of our current shelter and of the new shelter on there, and then you can donate directly that way as well.
Sure.
Towards the capital campaign.
Absolutely. Well, and I know, speaking from an organization that went through a renovation, we didn't expand, but we renovated and made better use of our space. The positive impact on staff and volunteers and board members that a renovation and a refresh makes is, you can't put a price tag on that. It is immeasurable, but so positive, and very positive also for the community itself.
And it's lasting.
Yes.
It's something it looks daunting up front to raise funds for something, especially when you're doubling the size of a space. But it is a lasting donation. You're going to see your donation at work for the rest of
your life, really. I mean,
Really.
those things do last, and they impact so many people. So what a great positive impact for the entire county.
Yeah.
That's the other reminder is that
Yes.
you're serving you're the Humane Society of Ottertail County, not just Fergus Falls. So
Yeah, that's a big thing, because when I'm on my way on 210, and I just pointed it out to my 13-year-old the other day. We were on our way, and I was in Hewitt, and I was like, see the county line? Like, this is all the way where we would take animals from, so it's a long ways. It heads a long ways north, long ways east, little ways south, but we're taking a lot of animals from all different areas.
absolutely. Well, it's exciting. Congratulations on getting almost to halfway. We hope that folks will continue to make those contributions to make this expansion a reality. And when that comes about, we'll have you back on the show and we'll talk about that. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Well, thanks you guys so much for joining us, and thank you as well for taking care of all those pets and pets to be throughout Ottertail County at the Humane Society.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
We'll be
having
back
us.
after a little break. Well, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Find It in Fergus Falls, and I want to thank our great guests today from Visit Fergus Falls, as well as the Humane Society of Ottertail County. Lots of exciting things going on in our community, and we invite you to tune into the show again next week. I'm Lisa Workman with the Fergus Falls Chamber, and this has been Find It in Fergus Falls.